Welcome back to the Grand Shamrock Tour. Hey, Carolyn taught me a new trick.
Hey, where are we?
That's pretty cool.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for teaching me that. That's really fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, welcome back. I think
it's almost as fun as.
Are we in Kentucky, part 2?
No, we are in Indiana right now. But Kentucky part 2 is what we're going to talk about right now. And we want to put a little bow on our time in Kentucky, and that bow is going to sit on top of a 9-story tall bat.
Yeah. We took a great ride out through the countryside to get to Louisville. Okay.
Right.
And, we went through a couple of little towns. Boston.
We went through
Fort Knox.
Right, Elizabethtown. Ended up Fort Knox, where they're keeping all the gold. And I tried to get me some.
Yeah. Somebody
they ain't
reached
letting
down
you out of
and
there.
slapped your hand.
They ain't letting you out of there with that gold. I promise you that.
Sure.
No, but we wanted to get down to Louisville. It is a really beautiful, clean, nice town.
Yeah.
Architecture, old and new, just kind of and right in the middle of Louisville is a 9-story tall bat.
I didn't even realize it was that big, but it's big.
Yep. The Louisville Slugger Museum downtown. They had just tons of people going in and out. Love the kids coming out with their little souvenir bats. It was great.
Yeah, we talked to a few people, and then what we did was just snapped a few pictures.
Yep.
And then we mosey on.
Because I was taking you out to lunch.
You did take me out to lunch.
And at one of the premier locations in all of Kentucky, Churchill Downs, everyone.
Yeah, right there. Little brown bag.
In the parking lot.
Sitting in the parking lot.
In the parking lot. I packed her a ham sandwich, but we got to sit at Churchill Downs and have lunch.
Well, yeah.
That's pretty good.
I'm not sure it was open for tours. If I could do it again and had time, that place is lovely.
Right. Well,
they're getting ready for their big event.
Secretariat's 50th anniversary of Secretariat's run the greatest 2 minutes in sports.
Yeah.
And so they're going crazy, and it was a weekend, and there were still people everywhere just getting ready, getting you prepped for the Derby, which just happens in another couple weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But you did take me out for an ice cream.
Yeah, when she took you down, I thought, well, she deserves something that's been around for about 155 years. So I took her down to Earler's Dairy in downtown Louisville. Yeah. And really great, delicious homemade ice cream. It was wonderful. But that was it, because we just rode home because I was looking forward to the next day. Yeah. And our trip to Lebanon.
Lebanon had a couple of things there. A distillery that I hadn't heard of, which there's a lot of those, Limestone Distillery, which was originally to be named Yellowstone, but because of conflicts with the park and I guess all kinds of trademarks and whatever, they didn't do that. But he was able to finally produce his dream, a Yellowstone bourbon. Right. And guess what became the most popular show in America right after that. Now, we haven't watched that show just yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, a little busy doing other stuff. That being said.
Well, on we went to a Kentucky Cooperage. Yeah. So this was the largest barrel making.
Yeah, makes barrels for all of the different distilleries. I mean, the staves on the wall kind of say it all. It's got every major brand, and it is a happening spot. It was one of my favorite spots we've gone to, because it's just going, and the teams of the Coopers, they put together their own team, and they get paid by the barrel. And so if you're getting paid by the barrel, you better hustle.
Yeah. That was fascinating.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part, though, was when they roll them through and char them.
Yeah, they char the barrel.
Oh, man, but no video on that.
You're not allowed to show any of the internal functions of it. We were able to see them raise a barrel, put the temporaries in, build it. We saw a barrel go all the way through. We saw it go through the char, and as it's on fire rolling out, then it hits with a blast of water and steam comes bellowing out of it. It's pretty dramatic. It is really something to see.
It's fascinating.
That being said, we saw them replace one of the staves. So the team members only get paid if the barrel passes inspection. And so the final Cooper, his name was Jose. Yeah. Jose came and pulled out the stave, showed us where it had been damaged. It was something they could not have spotted, so that team was going to get paid for that barrel. That's what made us feel pretty good. Yeah. Yep.
Pat, he was a lot of fun.
He's great.
Appreciated his input, too. He sent us out to Maker's Mark.
Yes.
Just so that we could ride those roads coming home to Bardstown.
To get us so far out in the country, we had no choice but taking old country ribbon roads all the way home. Yeah. And they were so much fun. Yeah.
great conditions. The roads out there are just wonderful, which I don't understand. I don't know how you get these trucks going in and out all the time, and then the roads be in such great condition. But it's got something to do with the limestone or something. I have no idea. Yeah, it's all about the limestone.
I know that you were able to throw up the drone.
Oh yeah.
There in that little valley behind Heaven Hill.
And
Willett.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. We found a little river valley. I threw it up because it does the eye in the sky gives you a really great perspective of what it's like and what it looks like and the expanse of these. I mean, these buildings are huge, but they have to be.
Those brick houses are, theirs particular are white.
Yeah.
And then you get to see the discoloration in those buildings of
the Boudin fungus.
Yeah, however you say that.
The internet hasn't corrected me yet on the correct pronunciation of the fungus, not the mold, but it is. I believe it's called the Boudin fungus. That being said, we got some shots there for you, and it was great. And then we had one more big rock to accomplish this trip, which was
Buffalo Trace.
Right, back in Frankfurt.
Buffalo Trace is in Frankfurt. It's the capital of Kentucky.
Yep.
And
third
it's
smallest,
a neat little town.
Third smallest capital in America, beat Montpelier, Vermont, and Bismarck, North Dakota. The only one smaller, so it's very intimate.
What was really great too was the Buffalo Trace for me kind of pulled it all full circle in our time in Kentucky because they've got we saw the barrels being made, filled, labeled, put together, boxed up, and we did do a couple samples, but 18 labels coming out of
18 labels. Samples were free, my favorite price.
Yes.
And so the only thing that we got to see them actually make the Blanton's.
Yeah,
Reserve.
they had 2 teams of 12, but everything was done handmade.
Handmade, hand bottled, hand labeled, hand packaged, everything by hand. So
yeah.
And it's supposed to be great bourbon. It's a little more expensive than we could afford. The Grand Shamrock still has other things that she needs.
And something else I hadn't heard of until recent was that they make Pappy Van Winkle, which is the,
Yeah, probably the most sought after premier brand. Pappy Van Winkle is distributed through Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
But I got one more thing you promised me, and we got it. And what was it?
We went to a cemetery.
Cemetery! So we got to go to a cemetery, and not just any cemetery. We got to go to a cemetery that held the most famous person in all of Kentucky.
All of Kentucky.
Mr. Daniel Boone. There you go.
Yeah, well, Rebecca was buried there first.
That's right. She died in Kentucky.
Yes.
Daniel
moved out to Missouri.
Yeah, got a little tick to Kentucky, went out to Missouri and settled, and that's where he passed away.
What happened there? But got a lot of history with Daniel in Kentucky.
Had a little falling out.
That was kind of interesting. Is he really buried there?
Okay, so that's the controversy. There is somebody buried at Rebecca Boone's feet. It may or may not be Mr. Daniel himself.
Yeah, and we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. There's a lot that they talk about there.
Yeah, and on that note.
What?
Hey!
Wow, look at that.
Hey, so with us being out on the road, we're not always able to be there in person.
But we are present.
Yeah! Here's your virtual happy birthday tomorrow, son. You are loved, and we'll get to see you soon.
Happy birthday, Dunk. We love you very much.
Yeah. Travel safe.
And we'll see you out on the roads of Indiana.